Okay, more and more evidence is required this week in week 3, so we're up to 3.4, we're nearly there. So we need to write clear instructions for the candidate about the use of the simple assessment instrument. So we need now to pause this clip and open up John's assessment plan once again. This is blank because you will have filled out a lot of this already. Okay, so today we're going to just tick off all of the things that we'll be discussing with him for his instructions before the assessment. You'll already have had all of his details in here. Okay, the purpose of the assessment can be gathered from that assessment tool, that larger assessment document. I've just suggested you write something to the effect of acquire a forklift license is the purpose of the assessment. And if competent upon completion of all performance criteria, John can be issued with a license. That is the outcome. It's not the outcome of this assessment. So that's why we've said if competent upon completion of all performance criteria. Now, unit of competency, we're only looking at element 1, and we're only looking at one step of element 1 today with John. Remembering, of course, he has language literacy and numeracy issues. We've probably had to organise some translator support there. So we're going to be attending the workplace when it suits according to organisational needs. And that this was the conditions of the assessment. The context, it was to occur at the workplace, and that was a requirement from the evidence guidelines in the unit of competency. So it must be in the workplace because it's a forklift, which is pretty hazardous, so we can't be simulating that. And during the shift changeover, so from 6:30 p.m. and then set a date. So this is where you will now enter your assessment instructions to the candidate. And don't forget, from slightly earlier on, you were looking at doing an observation of that he could identify the hazards. So we've got to script how you would actually write that assessment instruction. How about you write something like, John, there is a hazard that's occurring here in the workplace. It's been set up for the purposes of assessment. I want you to identify that hazard for me. If you were to be driving a forklift, what can you see that's hazardous? Now, John may not understand these larger words. It might be more simpler English terms. Remember, with assessment, we have to keep things clear, to be fair. So we might have to adjust the word hazard. Even though the key term hazard is occurring in your unit of competency, you can adjust the terminology to meet the needs. So, perhaps we have to say to him, John, there's something dangerous here. John, there's something bad here. If you were to move forward in a forklift right now, it would crash. What is the danger here? Just try some different ways to coax it out. So, something to that effect written here under your assessment instructions to the candidate.